Hey there, it's Coach Enrgy, the single parent's life coach. I'm here to talk about single parent situations where guys, the boys, grow up without a father. Stay tuned. Hey, so what we're going to talk about is a post that I made a few weeks ago, actually maybe about 2 weeks ago, on one of my social media channels, and it was a quote that was given from Bill O'Reilly. Now, if you listen to my podcast, that podcast is I Give Life to Life. If you listen to my podcast, one of the last episodes that I've done, it was a play off of this particular quote. That particular podcast was daughters of single parents and the issues that they face. So that was a little spin, a little twist from the actual quote that I made and the post that I put with captions underneath the actual on my social media. And I will do my best to requote it right now. Actually, let me read exactly what it said. So the quote stated, "Single parent situations drive poverty and often lead to unsupervised kids. Many boys growing up without fathers often feel angry and abandoned. Thus, they seek comfort in all the wrong places." So again, that's from Bill O'Reilly. So on my website or on my social media pages, I basically put captions and comments underneath it, just giving it from my perspective and how I feel about it as well. So first and foremost, I just want to say that my heart goes out to all of these boys, all of the males who didn't grow up with fathers. My heart goes out to them, or to you if you are one and you're listening right now, because I understand that growing up in that type of situation, you weren't given a proper start in life. You weren't given, that equal footing. You weren't you didn't get that grounding that you needed. And so you had to figure it out, or a lot of you all had to figure it out on your own of how to be a man and how to grow up in this world being, as a male, to grow up being an adult male, then becoming an actual mature man. And again, my heart goes out to you because as boys, as males, y'all shouldn't have to deal with that. You shouldn't have to have that responsibility of teaching yourself or of figuring life out. And especially with all the things that you are having to deal with just in general, of all the different things that life will throw your way, all of the expectations that come on you, all of the responsibilities that you end up having to do and having to go through. It's just not fair, and it's unfortunate. And so first and foremost, it sucks, and I hate that you all who had to go through growing up without a father, I hate that you went through that. But I say all that to say this. I don't even want to say but. I hate that you went through that. And I say all of that to say it causes a cycle of destruction. It continues with that destructive type of cycle, that destructive type of behavior and lifestyle. And it follows most of you from your adolescent age all the way through your adulthood. And then from not just affecting you as an individual, from not just affecting you as a person, it then spills over into your relationships, and it spills over into your professional industry, your work, wherever you decide to work, and those relationships as well. And at some point, when is enough enough? At what point will the cycle be broken? Because it's just a continuous cycle. And then especially, let's just say once you get into a relationship and then you have a child, did those males seek the help and the guidance that they needed to then learn how to raise a child themselves? Was their help sought after? a lot of times not, because you just don't know. You don't know that it's safe to seek help. You don't know that it's okay to ask questions. You don't know that it's okay to ask another man who is showing you, who's possessing and living the lifestyle and possessing the traits and the morals and the principles of what it means to be an upstanding man. A lot of times you don't know, or they don't know, that it's okay and that it's safe and that they're not going to be judged if they do seek help. And so because of that fear and because of that lack of knowledge, that's part of why the destructive cycle continues. And so that fear of wanting to feel vulnerable, or of wanting to, feeling that it's okay to ask questions to show that you just may not know, to show that you may not have all the answers, that fear comes from also your upbringing, or what of what you've seen displayed, what you've heard being taught and described as far as, when it comes to the emotions or asking for help. That's not a manly thing, right? But that's not true. It's okay for the male species. It's okay for males to ask for help. It's okay for males to be vulnerable. I understand you have to find that safe space, that safe person, that safe group, that safe support system to feel and to actually be vulnerable. I understand that. But you have to actually try. And I know it goes against a lot of what you all are taught. It goes against, man up, figure it out, don't ask for directions, don't be emotional, don't show your emotions, don't express your emotions, not the more sensitive side, at least. The only emotions that you guys are given permission to show are the anger, those angry emotions, those emotions of needing to, throw your weight around. And that causes an imbalance. Y'all are humans, period. Before you are a male, you are a human being. And it's not just females who should be the only ones to express themselves and express how they feel, express the thoughts that they're having in a calm manner. It's not just us. That's why, there's a lot of, that's why it's so much anger and aggression that builds up in a lot of men, a lot of guys, a lot of males, because you don't get the opportunity, or you feel that you don't have the opportunity to actually express yourself, to actually release. I've been taught as well that emotions are meant to be expressed. Emotions are meant to be released and not held in. Because regardless, whether you are a male or a female, after some time of the emotions constantly building up, at some point, they're going to come out. That's like with anything else that we've ever seen or that we've ever experienced. Once enough pressure has built up, something's going to overspill, overflow, or burst, or explode. And so you have to understand the same thing goes with you as a male. Or if you are a female watching this right now, you have to understand that males, they have built up emotions, pent up feelings that they have not had an opportunity to safely release and express. And so if you have some sort of relationship, whether it be platonic, whether it be a more intimate relationship, whether it be a work or professional type of relationship with a male, learn to be sensitive to them and their need of needing to express, needing to release their emotions, their thoughts, their feelings, their concerns. Provide that safe space. Provide that opportunity for them whenever possible. And especially if it's in a more intimate relationship, dating, engaged, marriage, whatever, if it's in any of those types of relationships, be that guy's space to where after he's dealt with all of the nonsense out here, out in the world, be that space, that safe space where he can come home to and breathe and release what he went through in a proper, calm, non-abusive, non-aggressive way, of course. Be that person where he can pick up the phone and and be the one that's on the other end that has his back. Be that woman in his life that says, talk to me about your day. Tell me about your day. Tell me about what all you've dealt with today. Because it does us some good as females. It does us some good to be able to just kind of talk and get things off of our chest. They need that same thing. Males, y'all need that same chance, that same opportunity to just get things off of your chest. You don't have to be so strong in that sense to where you're not expected, or it shouldn't be to where you're not expected to talk about things, to talk about how, when you were headed to work that morning, someone cut you off and it could have caused an accident. Or when you walked into work, the first person that you saw, instead of speaking and saying good morning or hey, how are you today, they greeted you with attitude and frustration. Or when you were dealing with customers or clients, they had attitude or sense of entitlement that they kept, sending off that vibe to you. Or they just looked down on you because of whatever position that you have in that particular place of employment. Whatever it is that you may have dealt with, you should have a safe space, whether it be a guy, a girl, your homeboy, a pastor, a neighbor, a brother, a sister, a mom, a dad, someone, an uncle, a friend, female or non-female, just someone, or if it's your girlfriend, your wife, or whomever, you should have someone that you can release to, that you can vent to. That's what we call it. Females, we call it venting. I just need to vent. And so that's why a lot of times we can just kind of, after we've vented, after we've gotten things off of our chest, you give us a little time and we're back to, just taking care of things and juggling all the things that we already have, on our plates. Because we've been able to release and breathe and express how we felt to where we can say, okay, I feel better. I needed that. Now I can move on. And so I don't like the fact that the expectation is different for you all. Because like I said, y'all are humans as well. You're humans before anything else, before any other expectation, before anything else that society, your culture, media, music, TV, your community itself, upbringing, from your, I'm trying to figure out how to say this, things that you were taught as you were growing up from people who didn't know better. You know, those things that they may have taught you that were still incorrect. Despite what all of those different avenues may have taught you, you have to release. You are a human being as well. You need a break as well. You need to let it go, be able to let it go as well in order to maintain your sanity. Yeah, y'all are strong in so many areas. But you cannot expect to be strong at all times in all areas. You're not robots. You're not machines or machinery. And if you are a male watching this right now, if you did not know that it was okay to express in a gentle manner how you feel, to just talk about your feelings, to just talk about your emotions, to talk about the thoughts that you may have. Because, you know, a lot of times, a lot of us, all of us get a crazy thought that just pops in our head. And you gotta be able to let that go. You gotta be able to talk about it and be like, whoa. Because otherwise, it'll start building a nest in your mind. And as that nest grows, it starts to produce a few things. It starts to affect you. And so if you did not know that it was okay to be vulnerable, to share and express how you feel, what you feel, the thoughts that you have, good or bad, just to be able to talk it out, talk about it to someone, to have someone give you a piece of advice on it, whatever it is. Even if you're not looking for a solution, like a lot of the females, like a lot of us. Sometimes we just want to talk. We don't need you to fix anything, or we're not looking for a solution. But we just need to get it out, get it off of us. It's okay. I'm telling you right now today, if you've never heard it from anyone else, I'm telling you right now today, it is okay to release and let go. I understand you have to find a safe person, a safe space to be comfortable with doing that. But I charge you to do just that. Find someone that you can be, who you can be vulnerable with. Find that person or group. Even if it's a complete stranger, you know where I'm headed with this. Even if you have to find like a therapist or a coach or a mentor of some sort, or just even an accountability partner. If you can find another guy who may be seeking the same permission to be vulnerable like you are about to, find that person, because now you both are all in with each other, and you can create that safe zone with each other. And I'm sure a friendship will build from that, you know, even if there wasn't a friendship prior to. But that's what I charge you with. Actively seek someone, a group, a support system where you can be vulnerable, where you can express yourself, where you can release, so you can sleep easily at night, so you can sleep in peace, so you can go to work every day without having to be so, not uptight, that's the wrong word, but to where you don't have to be so, what's the word I want to use? You don't have to be so like pent up, where you're like already starting your day like on the defense, to where you can kind of go through your day with a little bit more, being more at ease where possible. But at least if nothing else, once you get home, wherever home is, that should be, if nowhere else, the one place that's that safe zone. So if you're in a relationship and you're with someone or you live with someone who right now you don't have that safe zone, talk, communicate with that person and express to them that, hey, I want to be able to discuss things with you. I want to be able to just express how I feel. I want to be able to do that. But you haven't given me, you haven't provided that for me. And I'm asking if you will do that for me. Ask. Communicate that want, that desire to those that are in your household. You'll never know what their response will be if you don't ask. Sometimes, I already know there are going to be some females who will deny you that chance or that opportunity. But at some point, you have to take on the ownership or the response. You have to take on the fact that you chose to be with that type of person. So if your home isn't where you can create that safe zone with right now, it may take time. Especially if you have not expressed this before and the person that's at home with you is not used to it. And if their mentality is also the same as, you better man up. Stop being a baby. Stop being a little boy, or the other B word. If they have that same mentality as well, it may not be an immediate change that they provide you. So it may take time. You may have to nurture that. You may have to just kind of mold that new part of your guys' relationship, that new part of how you all have communicated. And until then, again, find someone outside of the home. Friend, neighbor, coworker, someone that you can trust. Complete stranger. It's okay to talk to a therapist. That stigma on it, that's dumb as well. Talk to a coach, a mentor. If you don't want to talk to a therapist because of the term and because of how it may look, find someone whose title is a coach or a mentor. But you have to start getting to a point to where you are releasing and you are expressing yourself, because otherwise it's going to continue the destructive cycle of relationships, friendships, parenting, not parenting ships, parent-child relationships are going to continue to be destructive as well, and they're going to continue to plummet. And again, at what point is enough enough? At what point will you, now as the adult, at what point will you take on ownership and responsibility of yourself, of your actions, of your reactions, and how you respond to people because of all of the stuff that you have built up? At what point will you take ownership of it and do something about it? At what point will you stop allowing yourself to be influenced by the wrong influencers, by the wrong negative influencers? At what point will you stop gravitating to the wrong outlets? At what point will you stop seeking comfort in the wrong things or the wrong people? Whether that be drugs, drinking, alcohol, all of those things are done in order to what's the word? In order to, it was right there. Okay, I have to think of another term. All of those drugs, drinking, alcohol are done to alter, thank you, to alter your state of mind and or your emotional state, to suppress it, to lighten the load because it may be weighing you down because you've just been cramming more and more stuff into your mind, into your heart, into your spirit. So you find other outlets. You seek comfort in the wrong things or wrong people. People meaning multiple partners, multiple relationships, whether they are many at one time. You know, you have a girl, but then you got another side girl. Or if they're back to back to back, one after the other. All of those types of behaviors and actions and habits stem from something else. They're rooted in something else that is going on, something else that is bothering you. And so when you know better, I say it all the time, when you know better, you at some point you have to do better. You have to choose better. And it's a struggle. It's an inner struggle that y'all have to go through. Because even as a child, naturally, children, if something is wrong with them, they hurt themselves, they skin their knee, they fall off their bike, someone does something to them or says something mean to them, naturally, as children, we go talk about and say, hey, this person did da-da-da-da-da, or this person did da-da-da-da-da, and this person hurt my feelings. You know what I'm saying? But then, unfortunately, for the men, the males, y'all are told, oh, stop whining, stop being a baby, stop being a little girl. Only girls cry, boys don't cry, big boys don't cry. And that starts to train, unfortunately, it's training the male mentality of being just that. Well, I can't express my emotions. I can't express myself. I can't talk about how I feel. I can't talk about how this person did this to me, how this girl in this relationship, how she did me wrong because she was talking to me at the same time she was talking to this other boy, and that hurt me, but I can't talk about it. So now that I'm hurting, then I'll just get her back, or I'll get the next girl back. because this is what they do. It just causes so much confusion, inner confusion. It causes so much inner damage, that emotional damage. It's not just females who are emotionally damaged and who carry emotional baggage with them throughout their relationships. It's not just females, it's men, males, boys too. And so it's just a constant cycle of everyone hurting everyone. And at some point it has to stop. But in this particular video, I'm focusing on single parent situations where boys don't have a father when they're growing up. And so please understand that I'm not just saying, oh, it's the boys, it's the men, it's the males who are the ones at fault for a relationship going bad or for other single parent situations or relationships or households being in existence. No. Females, we do our part too. Don't worry, I'll make a video on that one as well. You know me, it comes from both sides. And so, please do yourself a favor in order to end that inner struggle, that inner fight that you have. You cannot tell me that you do not have an inner struggle or that inner fight of like this tug of war that's constantly like just ripping at you. Because y'all hurt too. Y'all hurt too. Y'all aren't men, males, boys. Y'all are not what's the word? Y'all are not I've got so many thoughts. I'm trying to figure out what word to say and I can't even think of it. Y'all are not what's the word I want to use? Anyway, let me think of something else. Y'all I'm so sorry. I'm not editing this part either. I'm trying to get through this video with no editing. What's that word? Y'all are exempt. Oh, okay. That one was bothering me. Y'all, thank you. Exempt. Boys, males, men, y'all are not exempt from feeling pain, from feeling hurt, from being hurt. So what are you going to do when that happens? Not even if, but when. What are you going to do that's effective, safe, responsible? Whenever you get hurt, like if you aren't allowed to talk about it, if you're not allowed to express the emotions verbally, yeah, of course, I know that there are other ways that you can kind of get aggression out, but even before it builds up to aggression, like we're trying to catch it before it builds up to aggression. I understand that you guys, do a lot of working out, you go to the gym, you pump iron, you run, you may go boxing, whatever those things are. I understand that those are ways of getting out that aggression, but we're talking about before it builds up. What's another outlet? Talking, communicating. That's the first and the most natural outlet that there is. So y'all have to change the narrative. As men, you all have to change the narrative for yourselves. You have to change the narrative for the younger adults, the young adults, and then the adolescents that are coming behind you. You have to start teaching them and letting them know that it's okay for them to express themselves. And yeah, you teach them the proper balance. Yeah, there is a balance. You don't want, you still want to teach them how to be men and not be too one-sided, even if that other side is, I'm just going to leave that alone. Teach them the balance. Yeah, men are built to be strong and built for strength, but it is also okay and expected and natural for you all to be expressive with your emotions as well. Ultimately, that's what I'm trying to say. And so if you do not have an outlet, if you don't have someone to be that safe zone for you or to you, call me. You already know. Contact me and let me know that you need someone to help you, first of all, just retrain that part of your mind, retrain that part of your psyche, retrain all of the stuff that you were taught inappropriately and improperly, so then you can be better for yourself and better for the guys, the generations behind you, and better for your own relationship, even your relationship with your woman, the relationship with your wife, if you are married or going to get married or whatever. You can be a better person for your relationships as well. And yes, women, girls, females, we have to do our part to create that safe zone for the guys to express themselves. I ain't even gonna go there. We don't want them to always express themselves with their hands and with their aggression and with yelling and calling us out of our name, or with putting their hands on us or damaging stuff around the house, even if it's not us, but other items around the house, or even constantly fighting each other, letting that built up aggression be taken out on another guy, and they start fighting or pulling out weapons, killing somebody, whatever. We have to give them the space and the opportunity as well whenever they come to us and talk. We all have to help. We all have a part to play. Otherwise, we're just going to constantly keep seeing this destructive cycle over and over and over, to where then people have to go to therapy, to where people then have to go to psychologists and psychiatrists. And you're going to constantly seeing a lot of our men in general. You're going to constantly see a lot of men killing each other off, or ending up in prison, or some are committing suicide because they can't take it, because they weren't given the chance and they weren't given the okay to just talk about what they're going through, talk about what they're feeling. So when is enough enough? When will we all play our part in allowing this to happen? Again, my heart goes out to the babies, the boys that grow up already fighting a losing battle. So, if you don't have anyone that you already know that you can, or whom you can contact and talk to, express yourself to, contact me. You can go to my website, coachnrgy.com. That's coachnrgy.com. On my website, you can sign up for my email list and we can communicate via email that way. But more importantly, you are able to schedule a date to get on my calendar for us to just have that initial conversation, for me to be able to hear what you need, what you want, and then let's see what we can create. Let's customize some sort of timeline, some sort of something of where we can just start the process and go through the process together. So yeah, go to my website. You'll scroll to the bottom and it says schedule appointment. That's how you're going to get on my calendar immediately. It will definitely show you the available times and days and dates. Otherwise, if you found this information, this message today of value, if you yourself are someone who can benefit from this, and if you know someone else who can benefit from what I've spoken on today, please share it out. Share it, hit the thumbs up button. Go ahead and rate it 5 stars on iTunes. Actually, no, this is YouTube right now, but I actually may put it on my podcast because I think this is actually some good information. So yes, I will also put this on my podcast. So once it's uploaded on the podcast as well, on iTunes, to help it get more exposure for other people to also take advantage of hearing this message of being set free, rate it 5 stars. Go ahead and comment, share it out. Put the thumbs up on this YouTube channel. Go ahead and put the thumbs up there. Subscribe to this channel as well so you can make sure that you are notified every time I upload more content. The podcast, just so you know, that is called, you can Google it on Google. You can search for it on Google, or you can also go to your actual preferred podcast app or site and search for I Give Life to Life. You can either search by that or my name, Coach Enrgy, Nrgy, and you will see this episode along with others posted for you to be able to listen to and share. I thank you for staying tuned all the way to the end, to this particular point right here. This one really, it touches my heart, and it has always touched my heart for years. And we have to just start doing something. But anyway, if you guys want to be a guest on my podcast, let me know, hit me up, email me if you can, or go to my website. That email address, I'll spell it out right now, but I'll also have it below in the show notes or the comments below. It is Coach Enrgy, ATL, @gmail.com. That's Coach Nrgy, ATL, @gmail.com. And it does not matter where you are located. We do have enough technology here in 2020 where you can be on one side of the world, I can be on the other side of the world, and we can still record this podcast and make it happen. If you do not want to be on video, no problem. The podcasts that I do are audio only anyway, but if you want to do video, we can set up a Skype session and also have it recorded that way as well. But anyway, if you're video shy, I'm just letting you know you don't have to worry about being on video. We can strictly do audio. So that's it, you guys. Go ahead and follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. You can find me on all those places at Coach Nrgy. Coach Enrgy, it is your girl. I am done. I am signing out. Until next week, do not forget, keep smiling.